Shalom, Israel. So there you have it, right? So a lot of interesting things took place today. So we're gonna have the sisters. Well, first of all, Soldier, what did you see and what did you think about today?
To be honest, I saw a whole bunch of stuff I wish I didn't today. But in all honesty, I think, like I said earlier, I think the youth has a lot more to offer on the topic than they really know the value of. I heard a lot about economics. I heard a lot about character and loyalty. I heard a lot about intrinsic values that they're looking for, but they don't know how to search. So I say the work that we do, we got to keep teaching these kids, specifically the adults, how to get this done correctly. What you got?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're 100% right, because me and the sister here, we encountered three older sisters.
Three of them.
One was married for 19 years, the other one was married for about 10 years, and the other one was married for a long time too. And they all was divorced. Do you remember exactly what they said, sis?
Yes, they're the first sister wives of divorce.
They said they're the first sister wives of divorce. So they got a committee out there, a campaign going on about being divorced. That's what's going on right now. All right, so sisters, do y'all got anything?
So today was a really good turnout. We got to hear the experience of, do women actually want a marriage because of the union or just for aesthetically pleasing, the wedding and things like that. And it was like both sides, but as the soldier said, we have to keep spreading the word so they know the right thing to do.
I agree as well. I think the biggest thing is that they don't know really where to search for that good man. As far as speaking from the sister's perspective, they had the qualities they were looking for the most part, but they were they kind of gave up the thought of it because of where society is today. So it was a little discouraging, of course, but Lord's willing, the truth goes out and that we're able to really build righteous marriages again, and they can find the right way of doing things.
Yeah, just to kind of turkey back off what sis said, it was a lot of discouragement as far as looking for marriage and hoping for marriage. But I got one good interview. There was a sister, she was hopeful. She had never been married before, and she said that she was looking forward to marriage. She also, I've noticed that she had some self-examination, and she realized that she might have been too aggressive in prior relationships. So future relationships or marriages, she was looking forward to taking a step back, being more feminine, that type of thing. So Lord's will, the seed was planted.
All right, Israel, make sure y'all stay tuned. This gonna be a real good episode, man. All right, so y'all make sure y'all record this, y'all put it on repeat, and watch it over and over again. It's gonna be a real good one. All right, Shalom, Israel. Most High Christ bless.
So the question on the minds of the people today is, how often do men think about marriage versus women? Who you think thinks about it more?
Women, for sure.
Women for sure.
Women.
Do you think women would be surprised at how much men think about marriage, though?
Yeah.
What you think?
Most definitely.
Okay. So when we think about marriage, what are some of the things that you think men think about when considering a partner?
They want someone who's really loyal, down to earth, and willing to do stuff for them that another woman wouldn't be able to do.
Okay. What about you, Kev? What do you think women are looking for from a man?
They want somebody who's gonna listen, treat them right, and just be a man.
So today we're talking about marriage, right? Now, previously we spoke to y'all, and y'all already married. So kudos to y'all. We need more of that in our communities. More, blacks to be married. We need that because we lack that like crazy. So, since y'all already been married, like when you were younger, did you ever think about marriage?
Yes, I did. But I didn't know what it would look like. I assumed that it would automatically be just a replica of whatever my parents had, which wasn't always the best, but that's what I was going off of, so I was working with what I had. So.
Okay. What about you, brother?
I mean, my parents were best friends, and so I always imagined, kind of similar to her, that marriage would just look like whatever it looked like for my parents. Like she said, it wasn't always great, but my parents said I love you to each other all the time, so I just kind of felt like that's what a marriage is supposed to be, and that was what's going to be right.
You guys are siblings, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so brother and sister, let's see how this pans out real quick. I'm gonna start with your sister. Okay. How often do you think about marriage, weddings, getting married, what your dream husband is gonna be? How often does that cross your mind?
Maybe once a month, I'd say. Yeah, I mean, I think of relationships a lot more than marriage. I think eventually, as I get older, I'll think more about marriage, but for now, it's not as often, I'd say.
Okay. Yeah. What about you?
I'm a little bit older, so I think maybe like twice a month, if anything. Just because I'm a little more veteran, I've been around the block a little bit more than my sister, I would say.
Is how often do you think about your wedding day?
I used to think about it, like a lot back in the day, but recently I just kind of just like I be chill about it, like yeah.
Okay, so like when you did think about it, like what were the things that you thought about? Was it like the dress, like the venue, like the location, like all the things? What was your like main thought?
Probably who I'm gonna marry. That's the most important.
Right, of course. Who you gonna go down the aisle with?
Yeah. I wasn't really like the dress and all that. Like, that's superficial. I need to figure out, make sure that's the man I'm supposed to be with. That God want me to be with. I'm not ready to press about the dress. Now I do want a nice dress.
Okay.
But if it's a nice dress and the wrong man, it ain't really talking about nothing.
That's it. So, coming up as you got older, what turned you away from that thought? Like, as far as the wedding day and all the things that you were saying.
Just kind of like the reality of the men out here now. It's kind of sad.
So expound on that. So like, do you feel like there's any hope to still find a good godly man?
I know it's hope because God is good.
There you go.
But it's just looking a little scary. Like I really don't even date because it's just scary. I don't have time. Now you got a third life and a second wife.
How long have you guys been married?
We got married in December, so it's been about 7 to 6 months.
Okay, cool. So where did you guys meet?
We met in Trinidad. All of my family is from Trinidad and Tobago. Okay. He's from Trinidad and Tobago as well.
All right, cool. That's cool. Good stuff. So when you were coming up, did you ever think about marriage, or this is something that just sporadically happened? Did you always want to get married since a little girl, or what?
As a kid, yeah, like with my cousins and stuff, we would always like play family, so we'd always think about like the husband, the wife, the kids, the cooking, the cleaning, and all the different house stuff.
Okay, what about you? Now, us for being, black males, sometimes it's the opposite, with us, because how the culture teaches us that the man should lay with as many women as he could before he gets married, before he decides what he wants. So what do you thought about marriage?
Yeah, that's the same here with me as well, because in Trinidad, like you said, men want to see as a villager, and they like to say just sleeping with anybody. Taxi drivers will tell me the same thing, but when I met her, we actually grew together biblically, like religiously, and we decided to get married young. That was our decision together.
Okay, good. That's a perfect and a wonderful example that y'all showing the youth, because this is what we have right here, right next to me, right? So I'm gonna ask you. So, have you ever thought about marriage before?
Yes, I have.
Okay, could you tell everybody how old you are? And okay, we can start there. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay, you're 18, right? So, a perfect wedding, right? What would be a perfect wedding for you?
Just a small, intimate wedding with friends and family. Nothing too big or flashy, just something small, intimate, something that's, I want to say, more personal rather than public.
Okay, cool. Now, wedding dress. Have you ever thought of a wedding dress? And what color would it be if you had to choose a wedding dress?
I would say between either a traditional white wedding dress or maybe like a light beige.
Okay, cool. Is there any specific reason why those colors, or?
I just think they look pretty.
Okay, cool. Now, as far as of marriage-wise, do you think it's important to seek guidance and counseling from married couples or from people that has been married before, or this is something that you should just wing on your own? What do you think about that?
I think maybe a little bit of both, but mainly getting advice and guidance from, of course, older married couples. That's basically what I do anyway. I always ask questions when it comes to marriage, when it comes to my parents or aunts and uncles. Mainly just get as much information as I can.
Okay. One more thing, right? With marriage, right? Say whenever you decide to get married, right? Who would pay for everything? Would it be the man, or would it be you, or both? A little of both? How would things go when dealing with a marriage?
I think both, personally. I don't think all the responsibility should be on one person.
Okay.
We either pick and choose what parts we want to pay for, or just split everything down the middle would probably be best.
We both know that in our age group, how many people do we actually see get married?
aside from the high school sweethearts, not, I would say, a lot, to be honest.
What about you, Ashley?
I've actually been seeing more often a lot of the friends that I went to high school with getting married, which I find crazy because in this economy, I don't understand how you could think about marriage at that age, but to each their own.
Okay, so you mentioned the economy and marriage. Those two things go hand in hand?
For sure, yeah. I mean, after marriage typically comes kids, and I think the people that are getting married that I know of are eventually thinking of kids, so I don't see how marriage at this point in your life is the best option. But I guess when you get together for marriage, like there's like tax purposes and like, so it is a financial decision as well. I don't know. I don't see it, but I respect it.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a different question because I like where that went. What about you? Are you gonna get married? Does it matter the state of the economy? Any of that?
Nah, I'll have to agree. I think the state of the economy does play a role. I mean, because it is one of those things, like, I respect kids. I don't know that I personally want any, but I understand, like, kids are a huge responsibility, and it also comes with a monetary aspect as well. So if you're not honestly making enough as a couple, it's kind of hard to be able to raise kids and support yourselves at the same time.
So how often do you think about your future wedding? From your dress, the decorations, who's going to be invited, all those good things?
Well, since it would be my second time, I think about it, being simple, maybe a destination wedding, on the beach with a small group of family and friends, and, just nature, yeah, nature type,
So say you mentioned it's going to be a small wedding, destination wedding, but say if the man, he has his life together, his business, he's very well put together, but he doesn't want a destination wedding. Are you okay with the courthouse?
I did my first one at the courthouse,
okay.
But no, I will not be okay with that.
Why?
Because I really, like, if I did it one time at the courthouse, I probably prefer to do it somewhere else.
But say if you have all the traits that you look for in a man, that's going to be the deal breaker for you?
It wouldn't be a deal breaker, but it's just something that we would just really have to discuss.
Okay.
Like, I think my needs and my wants matter too. So that would be a good way to say, what you want matters as well. So
give some advice on marriage, on steps on what they should do and what shouldn't they do. Do you guys have any advice for the youth coming up?
Yeah, I would just say communication above everything. I think being able to kind of relinquish some of who you were, like the idea, like we got married when when I was 25, you were 24?
26 and 25. Yeah.
26 and 25, and so I had to be able to let go of the idea that it was just me for 26 years and the ways that I did things for 26 years, because now I have another person that I have to consider like wholeheartedly, and being able to say yes to the marriage means I'm accepting that it's okay to die a little bit to who I was in order to be who I'm becoming. And so I think that would be the biggest thing. Be willing to be reflective, and communication is huge. Like, he's a clinical psychologist, so we have to talk about everything, even when we don't want to. But I think that's helped us, because we just celebrated a wedding anniversary like last week. So
Okay, congratulations.
Yep, 9 years.
Yeah. Okay, what about you, bro?
Honestly, I would say the number one thing is actually for the men, be vulnerable. Because I think that's something that even, like she said, I'm a psychologist, but it's hard for me to still, like, to this day, be vulnerable. It's something I'm still working on, and I feel like that's something that if you don't start at the very beginning, you kind of get behind, and it's a struggle when you really hit those challenges where you got to tell your partner, I don't got it, or I need your help, or I don't know what to do next. And if you're not vulnerable, you can't ever say that, and then y'all are working against each other half the time.
Okay, good. Y'all saying a lot of good things,
We
right?
also just had this conversation this morning.
So it kind of recaps, okay.
Yeah.
So good, that's
We talk
good.
a lot.
Okay, that's good. That's perfect. You got to talk a lot, right?
Okay, I'll take that. I'm gonna work with it. Now I'm gonna clarify something for the viewers. Okay. We are not a couple. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
We are not a couple. So we all just friends here. So we'll take it that route. Can I get a reader? We are a Bible-based organization. I don't know if y'all peeped it with the Bibles out or not, but we like to read the Bible. So what I want to do for y'all is we're gonna talk about a few different things in the Bible, and I want to see what y'all mindset is concerning this. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. Let me get Sirach 6 and 7. Because do marriages start with both people being a husband and wife, or is there something that comes before that?
Boyfriend and girlfriend.
You say boyfriend and girlfriend?
I agree.
What's before that?
Like a talking stage.
A talking stage?
Yeah.
A talking stage. Okay. So, in the Bible, can we find boyfriend and girlfriend?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. I had to make sure. You're right. Boyfriend and girlfriend is not in the Bible. But it does say this. Read what you got.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
How many people do we know or have heard of got married and then shortly after they divorced?
A lot.
A lot.
It's been a lot.
Can y'all name anybody recently?
No.
Y'all don't know of no relationships that ended recently in social media, whether it be somebody from Streamer University, whether it be your favorite rapper or rapper-ish, whatever you want to. Y'all know nobody?
What that dude name? Offset and Cardi?
Offset and Cardi, that's one.
Them.
So they got married and everyone loved the fact that they got married, but do you think they were ready to deal with each other for the BS that came with each other?
Definitely not.
Not at all?
Nah.
Were they a cute couple?
Not for real.
I think so.
All right, my man said nah, he wasn't rocking with it. I like that though. Yeah, my man, keep it a buck. So it says to prove a friend, and what's that last part?
And be not hasty to credit him.
So why do you think those two, when they got together, they were so anxious to be together? What do you think came with it?
They both have money. They both have good careers, good jobs, good goals.
Okay, what you got?
Yeah, that.
Would we say publicity and what people thought about them was a factor maybe?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Some people thought that he cheated on her all the time, but that may not have been the case. But you don't know who's feeding into what, so.
So every once in a while, what specifically do you think about? Like maybe a wedding, or more so who you'll marry?
More so who I'll marry, the spiritual connection that he has himself with God, because I'm working on my relationship with God. I've been single for about 4 years now, so I think it's time.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Have you been married before?
I've never been married.
No. Okay. So in marriage, and you know how you said, I love that you said, you know, you're working on your relationship with God. In the Bible, God has like specific, you know, rules, I guess you could kind of say, of like the man's role and the woman's role. Lord's will you get married again and soon. What would you say your role would be in that marriage, like in comparison to past relationships to that current relationship?
More so, I've always been a leader, so taking a few steps back and a man lead, but he only can lead if he has a relationship with God, so everything will come full circle. My last relationships, I've been more strong as far as spiritually, more so the man. So like I said, I've been the leader rather than the man. So this time around, just with my connection with God, not as a child, but as an adult woman, a man has to be strong. He has to be bold in his relationship with God. And he has to be able to pull me up. In the past, I haven't had that, so that's my main thing.
I love that. And it's so funny you mentioned that. It's a scripture in the Bible. I want to say 1 Corinthians 11. It talks about the role. You know, it's God, you know, Christ, man, then woman. So it makes sense that you say that. Last question. Did you have like a good example of a relationship growing up, like of a good marriage growing up?
I did, and surprisingly, the last few guys that I dated, they didn't. I came from a dual parent household. My parents was married for 27 years. So at this point in my life, I'll never date a guy who doesn't come from a dual parent household, because their perspective on relationships, love, it differs from someone who has. So
Guess what are you gonna be looking for in that guy to know that this is someone that you would want to marry?
I would say like honesty, integrity, definitely like your character. Obviously, we all want somebody like who got some money, or you know, can take you on a trip. But I need the character to be there before anything else. So.
Right. So the character, stability. You know what I mean.
Yes.
And do you see yourself having children or anything like that? Building family?
I used to want kids, but I really want to travel the world, and I feel like kids might hold me back. You know what I'm saying? You can put the stroller in the car, but I don't want to deal with the stroller. I just want to go. So one day I'm a dog mom right now, so that's enough of a responsibility. So I don't know about no human children.
Okay. So, you know, the Most High, the God, you know, really wants the woman to be able to bear children. You know, that's really our role. And that's how we build, you know, the Black community. So what do you think about, like, you know, And we want to make sure that we're actually birthing them at a decent age, right? We don't want to wait till like, oh, you know, you live your life and then you're trying to have children. So like, what are your thoughts on that?
If it's God's will, I'll have children. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. So if the guy you meet, the man you marry, if he wants to have children, would you consider?
I think I would, because I feel like the Lord would change my heart. And you know, maybe wake up that desire again. But just as of right now, no.
What do you guys think about divorce? Is divorce is divorce a good thing or a bad thing in the Bible?
I don't think it's an option. Like, if you're marrying biblically and you know it's a covenant, the divorcing isn't an option.
Correct, yeah.
You just have to fix your problems.
When they're going into marriage, you should know that, okay, you're not just going to jump into marriage like you say, court, and the person wouldn't be the same person years after. However, they have to know the person and they have to be true to what they say. But for us, we don't believe in divorce.
Okay, wow. So y'all might be the first couple. We might have to get y'all some bodyguards, you know what I'm saying? Because the Bible actually teaches that. Like what you made mention, and both of you, like you said, you think of working out your problems and your issues. That's kind of the issue nowadays. A lot of people, they will get married, but then they don't try to fight or try to fix those problems, and then you just leave, and then they just leave that relationship and get into another relationships, and those same problems that they have, they take it and it goes to that relationship. So now it's just like confusion that's going on. So the Bible does agree 100% of what you guys saying about there is no divorce. The Bible actually talks about that. It's called whoredom when you do that. When you're divorcing, you divorce this person, you divorce that person. In the scriptures, in the Bible, it actually tells you that the only way that you guys can get a divorce is if she commit fornication or adultery on you, or if you die, then she could marry somebody else. But if those things, you don't check any of those boxes, then you guys are supposed to remain married. So whatever issues and whatever problems you have, God wants you to come together and fix those things and come that one nation.
I like that you said making enough as a couple, because now I have to ask Ashley a question. And I just want to get your opinion on something. So let's say everything is set up, right? I'm gonna ask Matthew first. Okay. Everything is set up. There's $50,000 in the budget. Mm-hmm. And here's the ultimatum. You can either take the $50,000 and have the wedding of your dreams, or you could take this $50,000 and do whatever else you want with it. Which of the two options would you choose to, or which of the two options which one would you choose?
Honestly, I mean, I feel like weddings are more for everybody else, not necessarily for the couple. So I think the $50,000, taking that and doing something as a couple and doing something that you're going to enjoy, at least to me personally, just feels like the better play.
Okay, what about you?
I agree. I think I'd put that towards like a house or some kind of property or a vacation, invest it. I don't know, make a smarter decision versus a wedding. Not that I don't want to have like a big wedding, but if given that amount of money, I think I would be a little bit more smart with it.
The reason I asked that question is because you both mentioned the economy, right? Mm-hmm. So how much does it cost to get married? Do y'all know?
I know it's expensive.
Honestly, it's probably about $25,000 to $30,000 if I'm not mistaken. I feel like it's up there, and it really depends on the size of the wedding. To be honest, so like I feel like you could easily spend $15,000 to $20,000 at minimum on a wedding, especially once you consider like the catering and all of the dress and stuff like that. It could easily rack up, I feel like, to $20,000, $25,000.
Okay, what about you, Ashley?
I would probably say I agree with that, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to ask the question one more time. Just so. Higher? No, I think you guys missed what I asked.
Okay.
How much does it cost to get married?
Okay, gotcha, yeah. I mean,
it's free. It's just whatever the court document is at the courthouse.
Yeah.
And see, the reason I ask that question is because a lot of us think of marriage as this insurmountable task for the future when all the ducks are in the row and everything's perfect and I've paid off student loans and I've got my degrees and my career start. We put a lot of barriers before marriage without even considering that it's us who's doing it. It's not a requirement for the marriage. Yeah. The wedding itself is not, like you said, it's for other people, and there is a benefit to it, but who said that was the hard line bottom rule that you have to go all out to do that? 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 6. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well.
Right, so Sarah obeyed her husband, right? Which was Abraham, right? Read.
And are not afraid with any amazement. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
So we got to dwell with our wives according to knowledge. The knowledge is this Bible right here. It tells us the do's, the don'ts, to give us the blueprint of everything on how to move, how to be a better man, how to be a better woman. So we got to teach them with this, right? Read.
Giving honor unto the wife.
Right. So we got to reverence each other, give each other honor. Like he was saying, you was mentioning earlier. Sometimes you got to be a little more vulnerable. You know what I mean? Hear each other out, because two people arguing, you know, nobody's really going to hear each other's side, because you trying to get your side out, he's trying to get his side out. So we have to come together with that, right? Read.
Giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered.
So you want to be heirs together. Y'all want to be together, right? That your prayers are heard, because when you read the Bible, it tells you that you're not supposed to go to bed angry with one another. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to fix whatever problems that you guys have and deal with it according to God, according to marriage. So I liked what you had said. Both of you guys had said that was 100%. That was spot on. I just wanted to show y'all that what y'all said was according to the Bible. So what do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think that's the foundation for our marriage, is understanding that through God we were brought together, because there's a lot of ways that couldn't have happened, and so we're trying to grow our spirituality as individuals and as a union.
Okay.
Always, yeah.
Okay, good. That's some good stuff. What about you, sis?
Yeah, I would say the same thing that you
Same
said.
thing? Okay. Okay, it was definitely nice meeting you two, all right? We're going to say cuts.
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models.